God, this is so weird. Hello, everyone. Twitch changed the default stream layout for their panels and such, and it is very strange. So it's thrown me completely off. It's quite odd, and well, it's just very strange. So anyway, let's get started here. I won't think too much about this anymore. But anyway, happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back to the prison cell of Gina Lestrade. So last time, quick recap, if you would like. We found out that Gina has been accused of murder for Mr. Windbags, who died last night. And we saw two ruffians, and one of them shot Sholmes, who is in the hospital underneath intensive surgery after waiting a long period of time because he was too hyped up on coffee to take the anesthetic properly. And he got shot in one of his arteries in his midriff. And, and Susato is leaving Britain. That it also is something that's going to happen. But she hasn't left yet, so Iris and all of us will go forth and do our thing. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a moment, please? Sorry, minute. What is it now? Should go home and rest. Here you are, Grigsy. Here are the representation papers. Your ladyship. How? I don't believe it. How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is. I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue. Ah, lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. Fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime, then? Do as you please. You know where it happened. Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Winterbank and Gina. Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then. Would you be investigating the storeroom as well, Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. There are so many articles to go through. It's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Stronghorn meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine. Come then, let us not waste any time. Sweet. Alright, let's check out the thing I wanted to check out first, though. This bloody ass thing, which is on the April 16th, which is today's date, which means that we know the attack or something happened after midnight. I guess is what our deduction is. Oh, it took the bullet. Oh, yes, a bullet hole. And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall. Presumably Mr. Winterbank wasn't practicing with his revolver. Sorry, is that the right way to spell practicing? Because that looks very wrong to me. Practice. Sorry, that should be a C, right? Practice. Practice is C-T-I-C-E, is it not? I'm having one of those moments where an English word just looks wrong, no matter how much you look at it. Presumably, Mr. Winterbank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. Ah, well. Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. Sorry. It's all there in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, you know? Isn't that right, Iris? Ah, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite a dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once. Look at that now, Runo. Let's examine this bullet. What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar. Aha! I may well be able to help with that. Well, there's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo? I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris. I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types. Yes, what a scientific observation. So you need this? Oh no, what was that scary-looking thing? Ernie and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch. Oh, the color of the bloodstain has changed. There! Does it make sense now? Yes, I think I'm starting to understand. Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see. Yes, how wonderful. The chemical it fires combines with the blood and makes it change color, so you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at. In a flash. Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris. Isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great. So, whose blood are we looking at, then? Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so... just find someone whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to. In a flash. It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it? 1 flash or 2. This could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make a note of it in the court record. Alright, there we go. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have a reagent left, sure. Alright, so we need more blood, I guess. That's nothing? What is that? I don't think this is actually anything. It's a really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy this horse statue, for example? Well, sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know? Oh, you're right, Runo. Oh, it's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole. But when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue. That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever. Even that horse statue, huh? I don't see any small boxes that were mentioned by the other bit. There's this thing still, but I don't think it matters. Whoops. I just clicked exactly to the left of it. Wait, really? This isn't... Okay, there we go. There's the article ledger here, in Mr. Winbank's notes, and... What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. Oh, look at the back. There's some writing. Is there? Oh, show us, Susie, show us! 15th February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th of April, 10:30 p.m. A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1. Clearly it was a very fine coat, in fact. Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday, and is still wearing, which belonged to McGilded. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though. It seems Mr. Winterbank just used whatever pieces of paper he happened to have at hand. But this photograph of a cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've also seen this exact same picture somewhere else recently. Oh, yes, you're right, very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier. Of course. I was forgetting that she gave us that print. But what are you waiting for, Mr. Naruto? Get it out. Alright, let the cogs turn. Yes, they are exactly the same. I've caught it. These 2 photographs hide an amazing secret. A secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris, at once. Do you really want to know? Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. Okay, I'll talk to her about it in a second. I just want to finish my examination. Oh, we can examine the music box. That's a music box. Do you have them where you've come from, you know? Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan. Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound? It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks. Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word. Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. Damn straight. Alright, I think we're basically done here. I suppose I should examine this just to be thorough. I'm fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are. And I'm not confident I can get it closed again. Oh yes, that's a floating stereoscope. Really? This is a oh, that's what the pictures are for. Mr. Shelm showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that you used the great big contraption over there. Ah, well, that's for the use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you can use in them. I have a little collection myself. I wonder if I can make money out of these in Japan. Be keeping my toilet sparkling clean anyway. I'm sorry, what? what do you mean it would keep your toilet? What? What? It's like, what is she on about? Sorry, that was not what I was saying. Anyway, is it that they're stereoscopic? So, Iris, about these 2 photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Winterbeck's counter, and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these 2 identical prints? Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry. If you look carefully, the 2 prints aren't the same. Not exactly. They're not. Having a look at them now. Well, one's cat is looking the other way, right? Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other? I think so. It's very subtle, though. But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the 2 prints? Well, it's because they're a set, you see. No, I don't. This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment. Ah, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? Oh, yes! That's what Mr. Shelm showed us yesterday. You see? There it is. Just over there. Ah, yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch. Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions. What? Really? Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Sorry, that was just how I was saying that. Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you. She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene. I, for one, simply have to know. Oh, two conversation bits from this. Have you ever considered, Bruno, how our eyes see depth in the world around us? Well, I just open them and it works. But the reason it works is because we have 2 eyes. 2 eyes. Shocking. If you try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away what you see with your left eye and what you see with your right eye. are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see. My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. Ah, I think I see. So the pair of photographs consists of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick. So, if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these prints. Yes, Runo, you're beginning to understand. And a stereoscope's function is to activate your brain and allow you to do just that? Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all. You can. Really? Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints with the help of a stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. So Salasan really loves this kind of thing. You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that? Cross my eyes. I think I can. Actually, I wonder if I cross my eyes, does the VTuber model pick up on that? Let's see. Okay, I'm currently crossing my eyes. So you tell me if it worked. I can't like look over and see the model, so. Watch me and see if you can copy. Make your eyes do this. Alright, let me try. Oh, you really missed Naruhodo. Oh my gosh, this... They look so derpy. Wonderful. Now it's your turn, Runo. The trick is to concentrate and look at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time. Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed. Alright, that's enough practice. Let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images, like this. You try it now, Runo? I'm just going to give it a try, I suppose. Did the print split into two images for you? Now the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then to try crossing your eyes again. The prints should slowly merge together until... they form a new single image in the center. Oh, yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see in the middle now. It looks so real. Oh, I can look at it all day. I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt. Your turn, Runo. Sorry. She's so happy about it. It's so great. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle. You know, I don't think this is going to work, like, for me, but I suppose you could try it. But, like this, is it? There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary. Probably an artist, I would assume. I feel like if, of all things, artists would probably pick up on that pretty quick. So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Runo? They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. No. Some people find it easier than others, but that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky. Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here, And then set the pair of photographs in the stand at the back and... Still amazing. Even though I know roughly how it works now. Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently. But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them. Right, okay, sorry. That sentence didn't quite fit in my brain for a minute there. But it's so much more satisfying to be able to see the defect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case. Stereoscopic pictures. Never even heard of them until yesterday. We've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I actually need. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the discussion, Iris. I'm sure that it will be useful. Alright, all the shovels are here, so nothing happened around that, right? That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? Must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn. It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head if you ask me. But clearly Mr. Winbegs was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. Yeah. It was. Bit of a bummer though. Hmm? Oh, do we examine the door? Yeah. Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said. Yes. And that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. I feel like they were framed. Like the shot came from the gun, perhaps inside, and that's how it got on the calendar and everything. Mr. Windbank face down on the floor, with Gina beside him. As he accused his legal representation of the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. We must make a thorough examination. Investigation, sorry. Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime. I don't know about it. I have a feeling that we're standing in the real scene of the crime right now. Don't worry. If there are clues in there, I'll find them. Can I move there now? Yes, I can. Poor Mr. Windbank, indeed. Poor guy. Okay, but we should spray blood, or spray the reagent onto that blood stain to see if it changes the same color. Because I have the feeling it won't. Which will put 2 people at the scene. Either that or it will be the same, and that will indicate the windbag was outside when he was shot. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely. Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Windbag's life was taken in this very room only last night. Ah! Wait, Inspector! What is it now, Sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped-up little defense lawyer, do you? Well... I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before, is the thing. I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me. You were running away from a 10-year-old. I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector. Come on. Alright, let's see it. Offer her some chips. Yeah. Don't trouble yourself unduly here, ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you? No, he tried. I don't think that went very well. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine. I told you not to get under my feet. And we have investigated you ourselves. Yes. I'd like to hear more what the socially inept inspector has to say. Oh, man. You know, Naruhodo is like... He's like in a league of his own above Phoenix. As far as just like... everything goes, honestly. He does seem more capable in general than Phoenix, which is funny because Phoenix is actually, you know, an attorney by trade and has like schooling for it and whatnot. But anyway, how Hurley and inquire into how Mr. Shum's operation's going. Alright, the blood though. The police have marked the position of the body with a chalk line. Oh, do we have to assure Iris first before we can use it? Poor Mr. Windbag. He was a nice old man. Well, he was short just once through the heart. Most likely, the fellow died instantly. Wouldn't have felt a thing. This must be his blood then. I don't want to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps... Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action. Is it green? No, it's not. Alright, it's different. So we know there's two bloodstains then. So now we know the color the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Winterberg's blood. It's Greg's. I'm going to comment on this, I wonder. And it doesn't match our analysis of the bloodstain we found in the main shop. No, but let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyway. Oh, interesting. Huh. Oh, that's really cool, actually. Like, it shows that we don't know who it is with the blue color and such, and the location. That is a cool piece of evidence. This is a revolver. A real one. And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Winterberg's life. What's the matter, Susie? You even look like you're about to faint. Well, it's just that I've really seen a gun in the flesh. And I've had issues with guns in the past. But, anyway, we saw Mr. Winterbank with this yesterday, didn't we? He had issues with guns in the past. Did we actually see that? Oh, right, the very first case, of course. I shall have to take my own life. It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door to the storeroom here, that was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand. Mr. Windbag told us that he only ever had a single bullet loaded in his revolver, didn't he? Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun has been fired. So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. That's good to know. Ooh, is this... Wait, no, this is the box. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them. I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings, look. Pieces of different people's lives, quietly gathering dust in here together. There's something very peaceful about the atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and policemen shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, Sunshine. Is this the box? Out of all the articles in the storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked. What is it, Iris? That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in. Oh! Iris's unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely that's not what all this... Sorry, Iris. But yes, me, he sold it. Without telling you. We must check inside the box at once. Yes. Ah. It was there. Iris's story was there. Really? It was. Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris? Yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited it here, but still. It's a relief to actually see it. Merely. Because it's not very well hidden frowned. So why is she frowning then? Okay. I think we need to converse now. But, where's that note about the thing? Just color blood on it. I wonder, if we examine this now, can we get a color on it? Yeah, the blood. Hold on, sorry. We've seen most of this before. In that case. There we go. Okay, cool. This is new. Yes, we need Iris. We should show this to her before we forget. Okay. So I need to talk to Iris. Well, I guess we would do that by presenting it to her in the other room, I guess. For now, though, The Hand of the Baskervilles by Iris Wilson. Huh. Well, I mean, it certainly is a manuscript. There's not really much to say about it. Can't find anything out of place. Alleged offense, murder, Baker Street, Palm Street. So this is Windabag's stamp, I suppose. Alright, well, let's chat. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Pshaw! You've got eyes, haven't you? Use them. Here's what it looks like. Nothing more, nothing less. Iris, could you lend me a hand? So, Gregsy, what do you make of the crime scene here? Oh, yes, your ladyship. Do you allow me to humbly explain? Last night, shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to the store was found locked from the inside. So it's locked from the inside. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officer's doing? Quite right, ma'am, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in, as humbly as possible. Oh. As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. And next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child. Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector. Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. I'm afraid to say, she had the gun that was used in her hand. No. Presumably it's the gun that's still down on the floor now. In her pocket. We found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom? And you say the storeroom door had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct. All of which leaves her ladyship's friend. It's something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. Of course it is, Inspector. Of course it is. Gregsy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley alright? Is he? Oh, well, the thing is, Don't mention words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is... No. No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well, out with it. Yes, ma'am. They use something called general anesthetic. It's the latest thing. Renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible? It means the operation can be completed while the patient's fast asleep. Goodness. In the Empire of Japan, we can just manage to provide laughing gas for a tooth extraction. The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for him to nod off, so I hear. And now the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh, why? No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in his system, or the bloke's just plain exhausted. But, anyway, all he can do is stand back and watch until he comes around again. Hurley. The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Chums has to do things his way. What is he, Frank Sinatra? Okay, I would like to present things to her. Oh, that looks like blood. I would say it's from a gloved finger. Almost certainly a glove made of leather. Oh, don't worry, Vuno. You can leave the rest to me. What color is it? Purple. Alright, so we have a third blood. Look at that. Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it? We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. Could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors would correspond to at some point. Well, this particular stain of blood. Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Oh. Yeah, it's, Mr. Eggs Benedict, man. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the color tone, but with a little deduction. That's right. I think it's clear. Iris, you know as well. You first, Bruno. Who do you think it belongs to? Alright. I believe that this is the blood of... Wait, what? Eh? Wait, he's not here. Hold up. From the Pawnbrokery Mystery Make, that's what the blood... Sorry, this is the redemption ticket. Is this the one we got from Ginny? Owned by the victim. Issued from the pawnbroker, owed by the victim. So that's not Mr. McGilded. Oh. Yeah, it would be Thrice-Fired Mason. Because this would be the one that Gina was holding and her hands were colored with blood. Thrice-Fired Mason. You don't sound very sure of yourself the way you trailed off there. Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case. And of course I never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice-fired, though. The victim of the omnibus case. Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. But that would mean that this blood stain was left on the ticket 2 months ago. Yes, I think it was. Gina bought this ticket here to Winnibanks yesterday. I'm suggesting that the blood stain was already on it at the time. So to smear blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago. Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilded was also wearing leather gloves that night. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fellow bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves, now was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. It certainly does look like a leather glove thumbprint, this mark. But we know that Mr. McGilded had no injuries at the time anywhere on his body, from which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason. Mr. Naruhodo, you sound like just Mr. Sholmes. Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. Yes, I think you're right, Runo. There you are. Let's make a note of this. Okay, well... I don't think there's anything else here, but... I do kind of wonder if he has anything at all to say. Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion on this, do you think? Okay, he just has the generic thing. We saw this last stream. So... Assuming we don't want to see him drink tea repeatedly, we probably shouldn't bother showing him a bunch of stuff, because there's probably nothing that he really cares about here. And I think I've got everything. I'm just gonna use the mouse real quick because it's easier. Wait. Oh. This isn't checked. Iris. Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit. Yes, absolutely. Okay, there we go. I suppose that we should head over to Sholmes and just look at his lifeless body. Or sleeping body, rather. The weird thing is, though, I could have sworn that we had... I could have sworn that we had a thing. Or like a mention of there being a box. Yeah, one small box. Mr. Windbanks appears to have used the back of this photograph to write a redemption ticket. He did it very neatly, but still. Perhaps he ran out of paper. So to use something he had to hand. Hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse, though. One small box. So, I mean, the fact that it was on the 13th of April means that it's most likely past its date now by a few days, which means that I would expect to find it out here. One small box. But I'm not seeing anything. Like, that's a small chest, but it's not quite the same. Same thing, but that's still investigatable. Maybe we're not there yet. We don't know anything about that. Green blood, it just seems wrong somehow. Oh, there's all sorts of different colors. They're pretty pinks and purples too, you know? Like I said, everyone's blood is different. I wonder what color my blood would turn out. Actually, I don't want to know. Alright, if that's that, then that's that. I don't know why we would look at the stereoscope again, but it's not checked off, so... Okay, I think I'm just gonna say that we should move over to elsewhere, I guess. So I guess we'll head to the hospital. Really though, he's not in bed? Because I would have expected him to be in bed. What's written here? There's a notice board on the wall here. Look. So what does it say? Thought of the day. On seeing any vermin, calmly and discreetly inform matron. Oh yes, there's rats and mice in hospitals like this that love to feast on all the medicine. If you don't deal with them, there's nothing left to treat the patients. Rats and mice. Oh, I see. This is a rather old building, I suppose. But the doctors and nurses know. Excuse me. I certainly hope so. Mr. Shum's sick. Okay, maybe not yet then. Oops. Alright, so if not here, then where? I wonder if there's any evidence left behind on the scene around here at all. I never imagined we'd be investigating a case close to home. Poor Iris. She's very upset about this. I'm sorry. I was there. I should have done more. None of this is your fault, Bruno, so please don't apologize. But it's the criminals who are to blame for all this. So let's investigate and work out how to catch them. Yes, you're right. I'm still half expecting to see Herlock just like hanging from something here. Why is this? I think we've seen this before, right? Still quite can't believe it. Never expected things would turn out like this. When Hurley comes back home, let's have a big party. That's a great idea. I'm sure it won't be long. Mr. Shums is very tough. Yes. So there really is nothing of interest at all? Alright. Let's see if Gina has anything else to say. I guess we did inspect kind of on her behalf, so... Gina doesn't appear to be here. I believe she must be in questioning at the moment. Oh, but wait a minute. What is it, Iris? Well, if you examine the scene here carefully, there's another possibility, isn't there? Ginny could have stuck the key from the jailer when he wasn't looking and escaped. Oh my! Why would she do something like that? It'd only make a situation worse. Calm down, Rudo. I was only joking, of course. Oh. You had me worried there. Thought it was a great deduction. Yes, it must be your way with words, Iris. You're so wonderfully persuasive. Perhaps you don't fully understand the weight your words carry. Oh dear. I'm sorry. I suppose a light-hearted great detective is a contradiction in terms. Well, in the same situation, I'm sure Mr. Sholmes would just have thrown his head back and guffawed. I'm not entirely sure that's helpful, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, anyway. It looks like we won't be able to talk to Gina for a while. We should try to make progress with our investigation in the meantime. Yes. Come along then, Runo. Come along, Susie. Oh, you can't examine it all. Alright, so not here. I wonder, is there any blood? I know this is weird. Is there any blood in this room that we can, like, check out? There's also, like... Oh, I guess we don't have the middle disc, do we? Stradivarius. I'm thinking I must have missed something very obvious. So there must be something of interest. If it's not examining, then it has to be presenting. At the moment, we can present things to Gregson and to Iris. I think the cat matters. Could have to go up view them as the stairs quick images. Okay, there we go. Well, that's something. So I need to cross my eyes and try to get the two cats to merge in the middle as one. It's a hard thing to do. I never thought of this in the first place. Must have spent a long time staring. Mr. Mason's. Maybe Gregson wants to know about this. It's not related to the case, Gregson. We could talk about this. Alright. This is going to be one of those moments, huh? Where I spend like 10 to 15 minutes banging my head against this stuff. You want to see Iris's story? Oh, he does, actually. Is that what I think it is? Your ladyship's latest. Yes, my latest story. It's called The Hound of the Baskervilles. A most fascinating tale, your ladyship. Fascinating. I don't suppose... Would there be any mention of my humble self in the tale this time? Good question. I can't really remember. I see. Well, why would you, your ladyship? I'll just wait until publication with eager anticipation. You needn't worry, Inspector. I'm sure if you do appear, you won't be doing anything particularly remarkable. You're not going to be arrested, Sunshine? I don't mean it like that. If I did, you wouldn't have bitten her ladyship's head off, would you? He really won't, huh? Alright. Well... I suppose we could present the manuscript to Iris? In the other room? Because there really isn't anything else here. Oops. All these things are pretty normal. Green blood. Oops, wrong thing. She doesn't like boring things. Who does like boring things? Alright. It's a bad habit. You should stop it. I'll be sure to let the entire population of the Empire of Japan know my return. Oh, my manuscript. Mr. Shum said he deposited it at Winterbanks, and he had. But it's so strange. What is it about this particular story? What's so hot on it? Why would Hurley say I can't publish it? I'm afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose. Oh, maybe it's because Hurley isn't in it enough. Maybe I didn't give him enough good lines. Yes, maybe. I wish I could say that definitely isn't the reason, but I can't. Okay, she doesn't care. Maybe... Did I show Gregson the box ticket? I wonder if he'd, like, say if the police did anything with it. Play at straws. Oops, I opened the court record instead of presenting. No. It's not gonna work, huh? Oh wait, oh, ooh. Ah, what have we here then? The redemption ticket of an article deposited here, is it? Looks like some random office station here with the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, this is the ticket for Mr. McGilda's overcoat. The one that little diver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do you? No, I didn't mean to, Roni's right, Gregsy. It isn't the same ticket. Oh, of course it isn't. Of course. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So, what's all this about, then, if I may so bold as to ask? This is a second ticket. The second one? It seems that Mr. McGilda, in fact, had another article in storage here at Winterbanks. Is that right? I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. Perfect. Okay, that didn't take 15 minutes, so this is good. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilda's overcoat. You mean to tell me Yes, there was more than just the music box sticks, it appears. Should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examine it properly. Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGill deposited another article here with Mr. Windbank. Yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it? Do you have any ideas where it is, Gregsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilded. Could be an important clue. Well, yeah, I suppose it could be. Please stop looking with those big turquoise eyes, all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose me marbles, I will. I'll go barking. There's no time for dog impressions, Inspector. God, the way he... Okay, hold on. Sorry. The way he's chewing... It reminds me of this guy. Let me see if I can find... Here it is. Oh wait, this is someone's random playthrough, but I need you to like understand what this guy like immediately makes me think of. Where is he? It's in Zora's River. If you've played Ocarina of Time, you probably have an inkling as to what I'm thinking of here. You can see him right here, actually. I think this person... Yeah. Here we go. Look at him. See how he's eating? Let me blow this up for you real quick. Whoops, whoa, what did I just change? Here we go. Just look at him. See how he eats? It's like the same thing. Maybe Gregson wants to eat some magic beans, you know? Some delicious beans. Anyway, sorry. I just had to point out the similarities. That's enough sauce from you, Sunshine. There's one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it? Oh, yes, of course. Article's only held for 2 months. So the small box will no longer be in here, then? That's right. Been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in the front of the shop, where the forfeited items are offered for sale. Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once. You're wasting your time. Oh. There are dozens of little boxes out there. Hundreds, even. Can't possibly know which one might have been McGilded's. That information's not written in the ledger. Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case. Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure. This is getting old. Dong! DK. I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Windbank set such a trap? I doubt he set it up to scare anyone. Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon. Oh? Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you will be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind. Don't you remember, Bruno? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer? Really? Did I say that? Yes, you did. The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching. In that case, we better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. Okay, but like no small box. I suppose we can come back here at night if we really wanted to. We can re-examine the shelves though up here, it looks like. She'll probably just yell at us though, honestly. So I'm going to do it anyway. It's just the generic one, isn't it? Like the, oh, we should go. Yes, this is where all the items have been forfeited by the original owners of for sale. That's right. They've all got little price labels on them. But there's so many. I wonder if the small box this ticket was for is still on the shelf somewhere. The box that Miss Gill deposited just over 2 months ago. Even if it were, finding it promises to be very troublesome indeed. There are so many boxes. It could be in any of them. Mr. Shulman said that a pawnbroker was the safest place to store anything. More secure than a bank's vault. So, perhaps this small box in McGilded contained something of a very great value. Well, if that's the case, he'd probably have kept it locked. So then, we need to find every box with the lock and break them all open. Hey! That sort of misconduct would get you arrested. Well, let that happen. This takes me back. It's been some time since you saw something glass through me. The police must fucking hate us. Like, think you're trying to count and like catalog every single item in here, and there's just these kids running around, and then one of them just like judo throws the other onto the floor. What a time. What a day on the job. Gina, good. You're back. The police must have finished questioning her then. Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful? It didn't bother me. Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Winterbanks. Oh, right. Don't you want to know how we got on? We're never so busy. What's the point in asking? Won't change what everyone's saying, but I did it. That's not... Gina, we came to ask for your final decision. What decision? About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you, or not? I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you. Right, I see. Surely lost the fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The war is just so hard to bear. I would have hoped that there would be a option to tell her about the time we were in prison. Oh, alright then. Blimey, give it a rest with my eyes, Iris. So come on then, fill us in. Who's done it? Unfortunately, we don't know that yet. You don't say. We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us, you're innocent of this crime. And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are no interesting facts that we have managed to establish. Oh yeah? Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. I think I know now why you broke into Winterbanks that night. Looks like we've got to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason, and thrust it into Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. I'm going to present first, because I have the feeling that she won't change her mind until we, like, go through everything. We found this in Mr. Winterbeck's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris' latest story. Oh. Right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Winterbeck showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like, with one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night? You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. And that's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Why don't you tell us what happened, please? Alright, yeah. This Baskerville story. It's the latest Shum's adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured, Gotta be worth a fair piece of silver, right? Oh, yes. At least £5,000. What? So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you? No. Ginny, how could you? What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I wasn't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out the manuscript, or whatever you call it, whether it was there or not. It's the only reason I was in the place. For Iris's sake. Isn't that right? We knew why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did. But I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Ginny. I just knew it. But, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you said the night before. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars. A lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Winterbanks. You soon see if you had a look. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley is telling me the truth sometimes. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Ginny, that was so sweet of you. Alright. I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. Oh. It won't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all. You wanted to know if Mr. Shums was being honest. If he'd really deposited the manuscript at Winterbanks. It's like I told you the night before. Never had a father. But Iris is a lot ain't like mine. She's got a dad. Only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be Ada. That's what she writes stories. About her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway. Last time when I was listening to what you were saying. Stories about Daddy? You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective, so much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner? Well, that's how I see it, yeah. You're so thoughtful and so kind, Ginny. Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we? Look, give it a rest, will you? I hate all this chummy nonsense, you hear? I hate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. Because if you don't trust no one can let you down. Leave me alone. Come on, Scapper. I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat are some very suspicious red stains. What? Why are you looking at me like that? I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Jenny now. I'm gonna save. I feel like the representation really is like the last question I should be bothering her with, but just in case, like, presenting moves things along. What should we present? Just the blood samples themselves? Those stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know it's blood yet. Blood, Mr. Naruhodo? You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So, could it be blood that splattered from Mr. Winterbeck when he was shot last night? Let's not beat around the bush here. This trusty friend of mine will get results much faster than anything else. Huh? Take it easy, Iris. Don't move, Ginny. I'm gonna shoot. Purple. Purple. Purple is... That is Mr. Windbag, right? Oh. Oh my. What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. The black colour of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now. Oh wait. purple is thrice man, right? So this would maybe okay, maybe it's not totally incriminating, but it's fairly incriminating. Which matches one of the samples we've collected perfectly. Yes. Now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Aha. Yes, it was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The victim of the murder case 2 months ago. I knew it. What? What are you all on about? The victim? What do you mean? It's a rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed. Oi! Will someone explain what's going on? Stop telling half a story! Dude, Gina would hate drama animes. We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilda's overcoat. But in the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said this in his testimony. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I was not to start worrying about my gloves, now was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. But if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from McGilda trying to pull the victim to his feet. Now, if that's what had really happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat. The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over McGilda's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, was Magnus McGilda. Mr. Naruhodo, that horrible case is solved at last, and I helped the man walk free from that trial. Use all that twisted testimony, all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen? You know, did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilda was innocent? I believed. Or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to. Because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon. A weapon? Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. You mean Kazuma-sama? Yeah, Kier Kazuma. Oh, I don't remember what voice he had. I don't remember. I'm just gonna have to make something up. Listen, Yonosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie, which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief. Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. Good music. What's funny, Gina? Cool. Sounds like in this empire of Japan you come from. Everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it's got you into. Believing in that bog trotter. Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free. Well, at least you've learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone was stabbed you in the back in the end. So you should let down your guard. You've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one. Get hurt by no one. Gina, my friend. Why do you talk like a 14-year-old boy who's just been rejected by his first crush and is complaining on the internet. Like, you sound like a MySpace blog right now. Gina, may I ask you something? What? I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial? Time's what to say it. Rip them up and chuck them away. Are you really sure that's what you want? I bet that's what he wants and all now, Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. I led her up the garden path, didn't I? You're telling me you can believe in me after that? Not likely. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, a lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel that I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial. Are you half-baked? Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth. Seriously. Mr. Naruhodo. Didn't you hear all what I said before? Born liar. If it was just trip off my tongue. But diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. Why do you ever trust me now? I just don't get it. Gina. I do understand why you chose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there's more to this life than you yet realize. What do you mean? The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Dude, look at that expression on her face. That is like a woman thinking about the person she loves. I bet you in her mind right now, she's thinking about Cosmo. It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I'm completely on your side. Unless the accused crime is that she pickpocketed someone, because then, yes, of course she did. Well, what do you expect me to say to all that? Then it's decided. I'll take these papers now and carry on out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trials. It would be a shame to throw them away now, after it's been penned with your name so beautifully. Do what you like. You Eastern Law Dog. Oh. I don't know what you are. I don't get you. Yeah, that's the end of the chapter, isn't it? Gina's taking herself off to the back of the cell. She never admitted, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out all right in the end, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna save. Oh, okay. Who was hiding there? Show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice. Miss Usato. Somebody is there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before. What? Is it Sholmes? Blimey, you're sharp, eh? Who is this? Oh, it's Gregson. Suppose you was one of the mystic Japanese arts. Well, yeah, stealth I heard so much about. When was the last autosave? 8:32, good lord. Is it worth it to go back and ask her about representation? So I was just thinking that we could, like, dive back real quick. The only thing is, like, as silly as this sounds, I don't want to make a second save file. I like having one save file at a time, you know? I don't think it's that important to see. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Gregsy! Oh dear me, I'm most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I mean to start with you. How long have you been listening to our conversation? grief. Listening in. No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave, even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived. This very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is. Nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Is that late already? So then, I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-da, toodaloo, cheerio, all the best, bye. That's a lot of farewells. Not one of them appropriate for her ladyship. Oh, but I want to have a chat. I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute. Oh, I see. Oh, that's a shame. If I don't get this emergency, the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will, well... Emergency? Lord Strongheart? Nothing. Forget I said anything. Anyway, I'm off. Alright, Gregsy, if you have to. But let's chat soon. Delighted. Charmed. Can't wait. If you please. My pleasure. It's a lot of pleasantries. Not one of them sounded sincere. Gregsy's so funny. He says such silly things. It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court. I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes. Yes, of course. Thank you, Mr. Sato. Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later. Yeah, but, But Susato, you're leaving in the morning. And so our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of Gina the following day. And then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. Upsetting. 11:30 p.m. Yeah, he's up late, huh? Naruhodo-san. It's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted. What about you, Susato-san? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mrs. Shums was shot before our eyes. Gina was arrested. All on the back of the news that her father had fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon. Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them. I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow. One final task. Wait, can I actually move places? It's rather late now. I think perhaps we ought to go out at this hour. You think? Okay, but do you want to read this before you leave? It's just 2 months since we arrived in London, but we've managed to establish this office. It is finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Susato-san. It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts. I know we've only been here for a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something. And what would that be? It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities. Facets? And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we only see a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we can't see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live. That's so true. Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it'll all become clear, that all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together. Naruto-san. I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark. It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much. Oh, sorry. I've what? Oh, no, it was nothing. Unimportant. Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning? Yes. I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 AM. I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station. Absolutely not. Sorry? I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you will find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean? Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this. What is that? Some huge bundle of documents. It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus. The McGilded case. It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winnebank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case, in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings with the case for you. With everything else she's had to think about. Susato-san still managed to do this. Immediately laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting. It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will boast your case tomorrow for Gina. Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said there. Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. The Makota's case now. What do you mean a failure, Susato? How many times has she helped us in court by actually knowing the law when we didn't? Well, it's it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Nahoto-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room. Susato-san, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Wait, there's something I need to say. Thwomp. What was that? A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown. Does she use it on all the boys? Shutdown. Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears. Oh. Susato-san. Aww. But what are we going to do without her? She's the one who knows everything. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted. Yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind. Eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. The small hours. No, not specifically like 3 a.m. or anything like that, just the small hours. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place, exactly as we've discussed. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. Oh, I see. Cesara's saying goodbye to him. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. My dear madame. Oh. I'm glad that Sholmes was awake in time for them to say goodbye to each other. Because that really is, you know, it's like literally his biggest fan in the whole world. So it's nice that they got to say goodbye. So the trial part 1, huh? Man, the question is the question is, do we do this tonight or not? We've already had 2 like to be continue bits. And I have to imagine that the first trial is probably gonna take more than a half hour to do. But I also don't really want to finish. Ugh. What to do. I do want to note at least one thing. An interesting game came across my radar earlier today. Oh, good. Very, very nice. Let me just try to move that into place. Nope, okay. It's really hard to do this sometimes. Nope, that's still failing miserably. One moment, please. How about that? Does that work? Kind of, sort of. I'm an idiot. Of course it's not showing properly. I forgot that I adjusted this to like get bigger to zoom in on the guy munching stuff. I found this game called Strayed Lights. I was watching a Muscles video that I've yet to finish on the Prince of Persia 3D. What happened? And the sponsor of the video was this game, Strayed Lights, which interestingly the combat is like matched the color to do things, but let's see if they have any actual gameplay footage in here. All these are just screenshots. Yeah, none of it is actually like from the game. Within the gameplay trailer stuff and whatnot, you can kind of see there's sort of like a Sekiro-ish thing. Here it is. You see it at the bottom? I know it's small, but it's right there. See? It's got like a weird Sekiro type thing going on. And seems like a nice game. And the reason why I'm contemplating possibly picking it up and playing it is because of the soundtrack. The composer who's done the background music for the game is the same composer of the Journey soundtrack. You know, the game on the PS3 with all the cellos and you go wandering through the desert and all that stuff. And I adore that soundtrack. So and apparently it's also a short game. There were some Steam reviews that were saying it was like a 3.5 hour game or so, which to me sounds like a really good opportunity for maybe a like next week's streams, perhaps. Zelda comes out on Friday, I believe. Not this one, but the one after that. So while we certainly have plenty of Great Ace Attorney to go, considering that I'm playing it today, tomorrow, and probably also Thursday, we're probably going to get pretty far in there. And then like the 9th and 11th, I would imagine if we're not done with the Hounds of the Baskerville by then, we will be by the end of it. So my thought is that perhaps I could pick that up on Monday and possibly play it for a bit. And if we don't finish it in one stream, we'd probably finish it in the second stream if the Steam reviews are anything to go by. And we could all enjoy the nice game, enjoy the nice soundtrack together, and the visuals, because it does seem to be a very pretty game. So, yeah, that's my thought anyway. No doubt this is going to be like a multi-trial case, I would imagine, if not like multi-trial plus more investigation after trials going on, just because of the way it relates to Magnus and what have you. I think I'll keep going. I think. Man, what an upsetting sentence to see, though. I have more liquids, so I've finished my first one, and now I have bubbly sparkling water. Lime bubbly. I haven't tried this before. I picked it up today. But let me just get the water ready and whatnot, because, you know, if I'm going to keep going, we're probably going to end up going for at least another hour, I would assume. So, unless the first part of the trial is really short, in which case I will just do that, and then we'll call it okay. But, hope it's the Reaper the Bailey. We'll have Gina be the first person who doesn't actually die to his stuff, besides Natsume. Okay. When I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets, and so began me even longer than the last, one that I'd remember for the rest of my days. I'm so glad he's not late to the courtroom. Whew. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend, then? Sorry. You know, in the fancy dress. Susato, or however you say it. I don't know. Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again one day. Even so. But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. I'm gonna guess this is her luck. Good morning, you two. Oh no, it's Iris. And she's brought Wagai. How are you feeling, Jenny? You managed to sleep? Oh, Wagai. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Meow, indeed. Ah, Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. Let him have a nose around. What harm can he do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Bruno? Ginny? Oh, well, I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, I would take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Which do you do? There you go. There's the question for everyone in the audience to answer. I am well, interestingly enough, I prefer getting bad news first typically, and then followed up by the good news so you can end on a high note. But when I'm giving out information to people, I tend to go the other way. Well, depending on what I have. Like when I have team meetings with my direct reports. Hopefully I have like two good things and one bad, and I sandwich the bad thing in the middle so I can like start with good and end with good. But, yeah. Anyway. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. The bad news was a weather report. So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to slide this afternoon. Soon as the train's delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that's the good news, isn't it? I couldn't give a monkey this early. Only all the good news cancel out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-post plunder. See? Oh, like that. Let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't, because because you're covering your face. Don't worry. Bruno will soon show everyone this headline is nonsense. I will. And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged Divers, Dauntless Do-Gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno? Oh. Yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Good luck then, Reno. I'll do what I can. Hold on, I am curious about this. Pond Book of Parish is a big plus blunder. Awful. Virginia, I mean. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Divers, Dauntless Do-Gooder, right? Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger. Bigger? How? Proud pickpocket protects planet's post-trial. Perhaps. Protects the planet? Well, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great. What's this one? Lead to oversee from Industry of Justice. What is it? Something mole? Industry mole? Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Is that Mikotoba right there in the bottom left of that picture? There's a sensational story loaded on the front pages. Look. Ministry mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. For a 10-year-old, Ira certainly has a finger on the pulse of the world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted. But how would someone be doing that? And that's the question, isn't it? Come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Bruno? No, of course not. I wonder... Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be. And it could explain why he has Greg C running from pillar to post at the moment. Foreign secrets, huh? Doesn't this one right here look like Mikotoba? Oh, there's nothing inside of it. Poor Mr. Windibanks. I liked him. He was cool. Alright, omnibus murder. Victim found deceased on the last scheduled omnibus on the first day after stabbing in the abdomen. Mason Noverton was the brickmaker's name. Lived in the East End of the Isle of London. Wait, the East End? So he lived in the same part as Gina then. And Magnus Begoted, Baron von Zeeks, and Remus Kinarhodo. Conviction was assured with 3 eyewitness testimonies. However, a surprise 4th witness testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Alright. Obviously. I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be your side the whole time, giving you more support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but... Thank you, Iris. It's very kind of you. Oh, yeah, Iris. Yes, Jenny? Well, I was wondering, Zol, about Shums. Will they fix him up all right? Yes. The operation was a great success, but Hurley still hasn't come around yet. Huh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Susato-san, and no Mr. Shums. It's all done to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel of the defense. The trial's about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Bruno. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. Had to believe in her from start to finish. Let's sort of notes to secure our victory here. If I learnt anything from my great friend, it's that. 10 a.m. sharp. Oh, and Van Zeeks is the prosecutor. He comes of his hole just to visit us. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zeeks, my lord. Sorry, wrong voices. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you chose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means McGill, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Minus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies, only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East. The Nipponese. Wow, Van Zeeks. He fucking hates us. Well, did he really just say that? He means you now, Runo. Actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal. What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lon Lodzig's eyes. Was that directed solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people? An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeeks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper the Bailey, feared by all of London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected as random to represent the will of the people in this trial. At random, my ass. Okay, so we have the, Wow. Okay, so we've got, Mr. Garrideb, for one. The maid that we've had, I think in like the past... I think in every trial, right? She's been there? Looks like the same guy from before, but with a funny hat on. And then the old man, who apparently is now a surgeon or doctor of some kind. Then the lady with the typewriter, except now she's like dealing with an Enigma machine or something going on there with her telegraph. And then what's his face? Holy shit. Why is my brain drawing a blank here? Rasputin over there. Former lieutenant of the British Army here. Don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto was very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely. Absolutely everything. I'm ready for it. I don't want to send it. I'd have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have? Women in indispensable society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Is something wrong right now? Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The geos are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know? So I've been led to believe. But something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Von Zieks, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there's never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Winderbank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. Ooh, this was a point-blank range shot, looks like. Considering there's a powder stain. As the court will observe, there's a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Ooh. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. The proprietor was found in the storeroom, where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Winderbank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums in the East End. Oh, well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands, then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. Mustn't assume her guilt because what she has to do is survive. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who must jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pickpurse, a cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Von Zieks. At once, my lord. There are signs of a single discharge. So, okay, so like I feel like we already know how we're going to disprove that it happened in the storeroom, right? Because we know that if he was shot, or rather, there's a bullet, right, in the main room with blood on it. Blood that isn't Winderbank's, which means that it's probably from Shom's, but still. There's the argument that, like, the gun only had 1 bullet in the first place, and if we somehow lie and convince them that it was shot in the main room, then it wouldn't make any sense that they died over there. Because it's not like she'd be able to haul the body off. So, anyway, the witness testimony should probably help. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here is very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno. I think that's because it has. Oh, the cape is off, huh? Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Winterbank on the 16th of April of this year. Oh, look how short he is. And he has a freaking death pin. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. My name is Nash Skulkin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation same as him. Tobias Gregson. Scotland Yard impression. Scotland Yard inspector. That's right. What they call the three Skulkin brothers. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me know you lot. Oh, blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going for? It's all above. Lost contact with it we have. So scouring every shady corner of the capital. And last night we come across you. Very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash. He is. Very spit of him. So other than that, what we gotta do? We was gonna call you Big Bro Skulky. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin. That's before he runs out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Skulkin. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves are they, these three? No, my lord, I'm begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. In the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove! You mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence! Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Look at the size of the box he has to stand on. Order! Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I demand the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question, and what exactly you saw. Happy to. Because a Skulkin's never skulking. Get out of it. Illegal entry. We were walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gas door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, called blimey lummy, with a gunshot in the back room. Went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, Governor. Never took nothing. We just left after that nice and quiet. Wow, we know that's a fucking lie. A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moments these miscreants entered the property, even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. Wrong, Banzeeks. What pot are you smoking? The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside. And within, only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witness now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yes. What's the matter, Bruno? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair on the stand. I know that's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. Just to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. Why aren't we in the witness stand? It's a real question.
Hold it!
The front door window banks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky? How would I know? Place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker? Leave me alone. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside, so it led us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of a gun trained on the unfortunate victim. That is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened.
Hold it!
What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it? It wasn't no whim. Dead sure of that. It weren't, Nash. It weren't. Like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Well, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign that a long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. There's still a bloke what looks like just like our bruv. I said cut it out. Those chips are getting a trumping today. I kind of feel like I should give these guys voices similar to what I did for Mick Gilded. Kind of. I'm not sure though. But once we got inside, core blimey lummy, we had a gum shop from the back room. Back room. Blech. A gunshot, you say? Just the one? Are you sure about that? Yeah, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. It was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bruv? The firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yes, Mr. Winnick always used to leave his gun lying around the counter. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds. That makes sense. Mr. Winnick always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true. We're saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as a murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Wonderful. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
Hold it!
Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there's only one other door, that of the storeroom. Of course, there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by. There was no oil lamp burning, right? Because it broke. When did it break? Oh, the door was it and be out cut and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Huh? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Oh, well, your turn to Rabbit Ringo. Oh, Nash, yeah. I suppose you had to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or a scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are our latter inclination. My learned Japanese friend, it would seem, is of the former. Oh, alright. Somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. I believe we all understood that the door was locked, could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. We never did nothing, Governor. Never took nothing. We just left it done, nice and quiet. You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story? Well, it was bedtime as soon as, wasn't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't have time to pull me dukes out, me Lucy lockets. So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left. Nice and quietly, you say. That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. So, you'd clearly like us to believe. Hey, come again. As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? Yeah. And did you not fire a gun at that person? Saint to life, they fired a gun, you say? Blimey, Governor. You ain't telling us. It was you in the doorway. It was. Why the bleeding door? Did you mention that before? You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes. I did hear that, actually. There's a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes. That's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder on the muzzles, they say, counsel. Powder, you say? Powder. Like the powder on the back of Mr. Winnebag. Mm-hmm. Does Ginny faint at the sight of blood? Out of curiosity. She mustn't, considering the omnibus case. I was just trying to figure out, like, if the two of them forced Windebag and Lestrade to, like, walk into the storeroom and, like, lock it behind themselves and stuff like that, and then had them turn around and shot Windebag in the back. I wonder, like, would that have done anything else? Or they could have knocked out... They could have knocked out Lestrade, put her in the room with the gun, had Windebag, like, go in there, and then shot him in the back. Maybe. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. There are signs that a single round was fired. How? Only a single round? Well, that causes a problem, doesn't it? Now, my learned deputy... Excuse me. Excuse me. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes. He is to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there.
Objection!
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Winterbanks that night. Yeah, the fucking calendar? The court demands that all claims are affirmed but clear. Why am I giving him that points? What's wrong with my brain? What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop that night? Is it this because it has the thing? The powder, personally. So, in my mind, that powder is proof, but it's probably not that. It's probably this. Like, we need to show that there was a bullet fired there. So I'm going to go with that. But I'm going to save first, just in case.
Take that!
The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth have you there, counsel? During the course of investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police did the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. But, well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein. Yes, my lord. No more delaying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? This one.
Take that!
What is that? Explain. It is a photographic print taken at Winterbank's pawnbroker on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? If my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Winterbeck's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes there is credible evidence that witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Because Sholmes in the hospital doesn't fucking count, apparently. How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zieks? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbroker illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna let us in the soup. I had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Skulkin. Set the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? The Van Zieks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is you have hopefully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zieks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Winterbank at all. So that's it.
That's it. We have nothing to do with it.
Look at those faces. They're so thrilled with themselves.
We didn't, Nash. We didn't. That's why I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget, attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas?
Yeah. We're in for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one at the victim's shop.
Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he'd be caught red-handed.
The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. 8 p.m. 8:30. 9. Okay. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Man, this game is phenomenal for expanding one's vocabulary. Desultory. Lacking a plan, purpose, or enthusiasm. Occurring randomly or occasionally. There you go. There's your definitions. Rather particle, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here.
Why not put one in the storeroom?
You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see. How that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities on the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
That's a bit off route talk, eh, bro? Lady Luck loves a Skulkin.
Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin?
Hey, must have been just after 1, right, bro? Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just call 1.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let's examine the evidence. Ah, damn. That is not a good print, is it? Good lord. It's the defendant. Miss Gina Lestrade. As the courtroom can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence. If you please, counsel.
I don't believe it. Genie.
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Winterbank.
I say, my lord.
Wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman.
Took a bally bullet in the Neon Battle of my wand.
1880, don't you know?
Decorated for and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see? The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. We'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all and all for one. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we ought to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Garrett squadron's position, sir. No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the court, men, on the double. His lordship insists on promptitude at all times. And that goes for making decisions, too. I think you'll find the truth in the clear as day now. Could reach out and touch it. I wore that to them there. I just want honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Wait, is that their other brother? Do you think? Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
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 Yikes. It does impede it does impede. Yes, it impedes my ability to speak. It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous leaning already. That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Ginny didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, all members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for actions, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. All the evidence clearly point to the finger of this young pocket-picketine. How's the house managed? I'd like to see all filthy eyeballs promptly and vigorously eliminated. Well, I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out. If I have looked at them there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission event. Follow. Stop. In Motherland, we say never judge by claws, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone, and in the accuser's hand the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the ballet trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Shums. Oh dear. Well, these cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windbank. Which means there's more to this situation that we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Alright, so let's press on each one to get the full story of why they think what they think, and then perhaps we'll figure out a way to, you know,
pit them against each other. You're Mr. Natsme's landlord, Mr. Gerdev, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this.
Ah, you're that lawyer chap. Well, that's a turn up for the books. Yes, rather turbulent time we had back then.
Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously. I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything.
Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Gabda helps us the talk of the town with that business. Lodge has moved out. I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies.
Oh.
Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet. Bad enough, the old girl's clapped up.
Yeah.
Can't be denied, you did do rather a lot. But not for us, that's for dash certain.
I suppose not.
Of course. There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously.
Obviously. But honestly, I really wish you'd pay more attention to the trial, and less to juror number 2.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I had to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pickpockets, and coursemen. Scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those Baxters would be made slip and span and eradicated. Unless we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes? That's right. I had to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rat's magazine between my duties. He does wonders, cleaning up London's streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes? A maid? It's really quite unforgivable. Goodness, scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Mind to tell, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail, indeed. They all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it might just be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the greatest. Good lord.
Hold it!
What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo? Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously.
Objection.
Oh, is this how we're going to do this? That's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying is that you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information. Oh. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Oh, how did you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. If it gets old seeing the 2 prints merge into one before your eyes, it's extraordinary, captivating. It's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find the stereoscope is here to stay. Give us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case. I might agree with you. It can, obviously. The cameras are set up to be left eye and right eye. Did he give us both? No. I suppose the question becomes, like, what would we actually see here? Like, if we added in perspective, like, would we see something useful? Or is this kind of like the wrong tree? I don't know. I can't think of what, like, going cross-eyed on this with the other picture would do for us. But no doubt we'll find out at some point. What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere, or something like that.
Ah, so sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? That totally passed me by.
Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors, so no. Even though me and my kind are the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field.
So, what is it that you think you've left behind?
Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went in through the abdomen. But when I finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere.
What? Did he? Surely not.
Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter.
That's exactly my concern. See, this case appears to be all but sewed up. I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewed up elsewhere. Now, sure, I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure.
I'm sure you need to be more sure.
Hold it!
I'm sorry. Radio transmissions. What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communications with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. But now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed. Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmissions in the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Alright. Trying to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. Without a pivel. Can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly toys.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. You bet I do! Say that again! Go on, I dare you! Goodness. Are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Absolutely. I mean, really. A machine to view photographics in 3 dimensions. Why on earth will you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes have no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you never even noticed before. What? Have you caught any, Runo? Any prints we could look at with the stereoscope? How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think. One moment. I'm gonna save. It's not the cat. Like, we have 2 pictures of the cat. But that's not it, I think. Unless... No. It's gotta be this, right?
Take that!
Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can. Very well then. I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll maze you all. Oh fuck. Well, we don't have the other print.
Take that!
Unless it Wait, sorry. What do you mean by one more print? Oh dear, oh dear. Don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how a stereoscope works? Oh no. What? You need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember? Well, how the hell do I get the second one? You know, one for the left eye, one for the right. Oh, yes, I remember now. But the print we have from the pawnbroker is just a normal photograph. Oh, no. I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You would need 2 prints. Thanks for the friendly explanation. Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then. I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me.
Let's get things back on track, shall we, Counsel?
But how do I get that from them?
Hold it!
Please tell me you're not Villain Bolshevik. The Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary? Ah, that's why he looks familiar.
Da, I believe there is such a rumor.
It's just a rumor.
As you see, I have an unfortunate appearance. I look like a vicious criminal.
Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out.
People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat.
And which club fits?
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts.
To be treated like vicious criminal all the time, it is really painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look.
The Skulkin brothers.
Da. Maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop, but they have done nothing wrong. That is all I want to say.
The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I need to clear straight. Tell me, Iris. What is it, Bruno? The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? Oh, I wish I knew. If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over. But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone. Yes, so we just need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and put them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Okay. Alright, well, this and this would make for a good conversation, wouldn't it? Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord. Counsel, explain yourself.
Oh my statement, contradictory.
Contradiction.
Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick.
I do not have stick. I have mouse.
The mouse is so cute, though. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from the revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear.
Abdomen. Epite.
Sir.
Sorry. My English is still learning.
You are telling the court you didn't hear.
Forgive me. I did not hear. Here's what?
Abdomen. But the person's body contains stomach and other vital organs.
If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker.
Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again?
So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before we never done nothing, but truth is they shot detective. Da, this is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right. The poor mouse. Oh no, don't squeeze the mouse. Don't hurt Ashley like that.
Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looked like criminal.
Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced.
This means when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so...
Enough! I trust no one now!
It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir.
I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Yes, it is, Runo. Easily. Sorry. With the print from Hurley's red-handed recorder. Ah. If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you would see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor. Cooey? Cooey?
Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight.
So this was taken after Hurley was shot, then? As far as I can tell. Nothing has been taken. No, something moved. That does seem to be the case. Can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print.
So, the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing.
It would seem so, yes.
Good.
No, not good.
You were right. I did not understand the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial.
Yay! Well done, Runo. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more than what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, it just might turn the situation to our favor still.
Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photograph print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence.
Okay, so there's our second print. See, I thought we were going to go with the print from the right-handed camera. You can see that this moved though, right? Like between this print and the other one. You can kind of see it in the thumbnail it's got going on. But it moved ever so slightly.
Hold it!
So we need to press him again on this? Okay, here we go.
Take that!
Kind of weird to give him the same print like this, but still. So why would it move though? Like, oh fuck, which one did I give him? Okay, okay. Kind of weird to give him one like that, but alright. These two prints were both taken with the same camera on Winnipeg's on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift to the position of some objects. Then, when your brain merges the two images together inside your head, it notices a shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly! It's that small shift between such an object and the two pictures that's really important. So, what happens if you use two photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene three-dimensionally anyway. Oh. Oh! Of course, now I see. I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Look at her face. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? No. No, she cannot. Having another look at these two pictures from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Can you see that there is a really obvious difference between these two of them? Of course there are two people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can see that straight away, but now, try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions. Okay, so besides the fact that things shifted, right, there's also the broken lamp, which is pretty obvious. Alright, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno? Yeah, I guess so. What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter sort of jump out at you. I like that he uses the thing for the film. Yes, that's it, you see? That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. Other amazing power?
Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh?
Why the deuce do some of these things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, hmm? I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's a slight shift in the position of certain objects that lets you see pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in the positions. Yes, there must have been.
Now hold fire there, sir. Clear reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master.
What? Me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Bruno, it's quite simple. It is. Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 AM. Then 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken, but the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Sulkers! Someone tampered! New information, stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far, stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom?
Are you suggesting you might know?
Of course. I can tell you right now who was responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. Oh, I can't. Was it Sholmes? Well, it would be someone who bumped into it, I suppose, right? Either that or Windabanks. Or Ginny. Well, it's gotta be the brothers, right? We're accusing them of theft, essentially. It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers.
Wait. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Oh, hold on there a minute, you can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse, after all.
Perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal.
I think that's unlikely.
And why exactly?
As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windbake to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interest lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted the key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pickpocket, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madame. No better. In fact, worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves?
Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair.
Very nice. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen the extraordinary potential firsthand. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop. God, this music is so good.
Well, it seems this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation and examination to conclusion, with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. I order this trial to continue.
Yay! Well done. Oh, by the way, what? You should hold on to this, you know? You never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But alright.
Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord.
Good job, Naruhodo. Look at this man go, even without Susato. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night, at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina's innocent. Like an alien in a cow. Alright. For real, though, now this time, we must stop here. We've been going for nearly 3 hours. And we need to do something else another day. And I need to not go to bed so damn late. I keep waking up obnoxiously early. It just keeps happening. And I keep having odd dreams. So it really is a weird thing. Can I please spamming start right now? There we go. We don't want to see this yet. We'll pick it up again tomorrow. Around 7:30 Eastern as per usual. I believe that I don't have Japanese class tomorrow because I'm pretty sure the reason why I had it yesterday was because the teacher couldn't manage to make it for Wednesday. So I believe I should be online at the usual time tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern. So if you want to see more Ace Attorney, see where the trial's going, then definitely come by. There'll be more terrible British accents and problem-solving skills of a 10-year-old to be seen. But yeah, the weird-ass dreams I've been having, man, like, they are bizarre. on I think it was Saturday morning, I woke up after having dreamt about like taking part in the rite of descent from Fatal Frame, except that like when I put on the mask, it was sideways, and then like the other people who were in the high school play doing the rite of descent got really mad at me for not having the mask on properly. And then there's I think there was a weird, it was the day before, I think, that I had an odd dream with me trying to explain like a cardboard box with a super soaker and like explaining it to people, and like they just weren't getting it no matter all the different ways I explained it. It just wouldn't soak in, and like it was such a weird dream. I'm pretty sure I had a really odd dream last night too, but I don't remember it anymore. Yesterday I woke up at 6 a.m. Or sorry, yesterday I woke up at 4 a.m. Today I woke up at 6 a.m. So still waking up really early. But I did go for a walk, and it was good. But anyway, that's enough about my random strange dreams and other nonsense that's been going on. So we're good. At some point, I am going to play these, by the way, because they seem decently fun. I don't really know if this leads itself over to like actual mini trials that you do or something, but I will check those out at some point. Also, last time I think it was, we had Ryunosuke wondering about what Susato would look like in Western dress, and yeah, there you go. Though I do wonder, it says outfits are only available for use in the Great Ace Attorney 2. I wonder if she gets a different outfit besides Iris's homemade dress? Or if she stays in like this if you don't change anything up. But anyway, I'll catch you all tomorrow. I'm gonna go now. But I hope you enjoyed this. I did, and it's always fun to play this game and such. So overall, we got to give the brothers' performance and Naruhodo's successful summation examination a passing grade. So bye for now. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time.